Architecture. What is architecture? It is a question that, even for an architect, can be difficult to explain in just a few words. Although architecture is something ever-present, physical and perceptible, it is filled with details, variations, ideas, and sensations that make it extraordinarily complex. Throughout history, architects have expressed their own interpretation of this concept for future generations. These statements, with varying degrees of poetic touch, reflect how they perceived architecture. One of the most well-known is, "Architecture is the learned game, correct and magnificent of forms assembled in light," by Le Corbusier. Architecture as art. The most commonly found definition is, architecture is the art and technique of designing and constructing buildings. Though brief, this definition is quite broad, as it leads us to reflect on what is understood by art and what can be considered as such, a subject that could be debated extensively due to the lack of consensus. This takes us into a completely abstract realm. To add even more complexity, the concept of art varies according to time and geographical context. Art is a human expression influenced by the historical, social, and economic moment in which it develops. It is a reflection of a culture where the artist captures their perspective of the world in their creations. For the Greeks, who were the first to theorize about art, it was synonymous with skill or ability in doing something, requiring learning and adherence to certain rules or criteria. They considered architecture one of the 6 major arts, alongside painting, literature, theatre, dance, and sculpture. In the 18th century, when the concept of fine arts was coined, it was said that art is the result of a creative process and a human need to express oneself through forms, colors, sounds, movements, and words, creating something to be enjoyed by the senses, thus generating an aesthetic experience. How can a building become a work of art? Architecture has certain resources or elements that allow it to reach this artistic dimension. Materials? They are like a painter's palette of colors in their work. Each material has its own characteristics, bringing color, shine, and texture, expressing itself uniquely. Thus, materials can evoke a wide range of sensations: warmth, sobriety, solidity, lightness, or purity. Form. As in sculpture or painting, architecture is a combination of volumes, planes, and elements capable of generating a great variety of sensations: grandeur, balance, dynamism, among others. The forms a building can take are almost limitless, as they depend both on the response to the functional requirements and on the interpretation of the environment. Space. Architecture creates the spaces that surround us, distinguishing it from other arts that are appreciated from the outside. The emotions these spaces generate are deeply linked to our psychology and perception of the environment. A space can inspire feelings of security, confusion, or tranquility, among others. Light. Light is architecture's intangible material. Like the other elements, architects analyze how it will integrate into spaces. Beyond illuminating, light creates reflections and shines on materials, casts shadows that highlight shapes and volumes, and evolves throughout the day. Essentially, light brings everything else to life and is without a doubt one of the most powerful resources for conveying emotions. However, a building that effectively utilizes these elements and moves us emotionally cannot be considered good architecture if it does not adequately fulfill the function for which it was designed.